3 months ago, my $30,000 Porsche was reduced to a mangled wreck overnight by some thug posing as an HOA security guard in our quiet Atlanta suburb. Every window was shattered, every panel bashed in a total war zone. When I found his badge pinned under a rock on the windshield, my stomach dropped. Our HOA had never mentioned security patrols. Who was this maniac targeting me? Little did he know, smashing my dream car was the spark that had turned his world upside down. Have you ever craved revenge so bad it kept you up at night? Let me rewind to give you the full picture, because context is everything. 6 months ago, I walked away from a soul-draining job at Pinnacle Realty Group in downtown Atlanta. I'd had enough of their shady deals, so I started my own consulting firm. To my shock, it exploded within 2 months. I was earning more than I had in a year at Pinnacle. To celebrate, I splurged on a Porsche 911 Carrera, jet black, the kind of car I'd dreamed of since I was a kid stuck in a rusty old Toyota with no AC. I know, it's a bit much, but after a decade of grinding, I deserved it. A week before the chaos, I'd posted online about my journey quitting the toxic job, starting fresh, and working on a book called Exposing Realty Secrets. It was about the dirty tricks I'd seen in the industry, nothing too detailed yet, just a teaser. The post blew up likes, shares, people hyped about the book. Everything felt golden. Then Monday night hit. I was lounging at home around 11 p.m., half watching some reality show, when my phone rang. Unknown number. I usually ignore those, but something made me pick up. Silence for a good 5 seconds. Then a muffled voice, like someone talking through a cloth, said, "Kill the book." That's it. No threats, no explanation, just those 3 words before they hung up. I'm not one for paranoia, but that call sent chills down my spine. Who even knew about my book? Only my followers saw the post. I barely slept, replaying the call, wondering if I was overreacting. Turns out, I wasn't cautious enough. Tuesday morning, I stepped outside to grab my coffee mug from the car before a client meeting and froze. My Porsche looked like it had been through a demolition derby. Windows gone, hood crumpled, dents everywhere. But what really got me was that badge on the windshield, labeled JSH HOA Security. It looked official from afar, but up close? A joke. The back was held together with a flimsy clip, like something you'd find at a dollar store. Here's the kicker. Our HOA in Peachtree Heights had no security team. This is a sleepy neighborhood, young couples, retirees, where the worst crime is a late trash can. I knocked on doors, asked neighbors if they'd seen any HOA security the night before. Nada. One older couple thought I was joking. 8 houses later, it was clear no one had seen anything, heard anything, or knew about any security. In a place where you can hear a cat sneeze 2 blocks away, how does someone trash a car for half an hour without a sound? And get this, our neighborhood's loaded with cameras, but the security company said the entire network was down for maintenance from midnight to 3 a.m. that night. What are the odds? Standing there, holding that fake badge, staring at my ruined car, I connected the dots. The creepy call, the vandalism, the badge, it was all about my book. Someone was sending a message. I spent an hour snapping photos for insurance and the cops, knowing the damage was at least $30,000, maybe more. This wasn't random, it was personal. The badge, marked JS, wasn't an accident, it was a calling card. But who was JS, and why leave it behind? I hit Google hard. HOA security, JS security badge, local patrol companies. Nothing. Our HOA's website had 0 mention of security. The neighborhood's online group was silent on patrols. This JS was a ghost. I had 2 choices: drop the book and play it safe, or dig deeper and find out who was so desperate to stop me. After seeing my car, safe wasn't an option. This was war. I called the cops first thing Wednesday. The officer was polite, took my photos, bagged the badge, and jotted down my story. But when I mentioned the book and the threatening call, he gave me a look like I'd claimed aliens landed in my backyard. "You think this is about a book?" he said, barely hiding his skepticism. He filed the report, said a detective would follow up, and suggested I talk to our HOA president, Laura Bennett. So, I set up a meeting with her that afternoon. Laura's home office was like a corporate shrine: neat desk, family photos, inspirational quotes plastered everywhere. But the second I mentioned the vandalism, she got jittery. "Oh, your sleek new car got trashed? That's awful," she said, her voice practically squeaking. I hadn't told her it was new or sleek. Odd. Then she pivoted to my book, unprompted. I saw your post about that real estate expose. You've got to be careful, libel laws are tricky. Why was she so worried about a project I hadn't even discussed with her? Before I could press, there was a knock, and in walked James Sullivan, introduced as her safety advisor. The guy was built like a linebacker, dressed too tight, moving like he owned the room. Laura called him Mr. Sullivan, but slipped and said, Jim, before correcting herself. Red flag. He stood behind me, cracking his knuckles deliberately, staring me down. Writers need to watch out for libel, he said, echoing Laura word for word. Accusing honest folks can get messy. The way he said honest made my skin crawl. I asked about their security program. Laura fumbled, saying it was a new pilot, while James claimed they only patrolled as needed. 5 minutes earlier, Laura swore nothing like this had ever happened. Their lies were falling apart. I left, but as I walked to my rental car, I overheard James on the phone. Yeah, he's backing off the book. Keep an eye on his posts. Backing off? I was more determined than ever. That night, my neighbor Ruth dropped a bombshell. James had been shaking down residents for fake HOA fines. $1,500 for a mailbox too close to the curb, $800 for tall grass. He'd told different neighbors different stories. Safety consultant, emergency contact updater. The guy was a con artist, and Laura was in on it. Then it hit me I'd seen James before, in a photo on Laura's desk, standing next to her at what looked like a family event. This wasn't random, it was personal. I hired Mike Reynolds, a grizzled private investigator who looked like he'd walked out of a noir film. I gave him everything: photos, the badge, Ruth's story. 3 days later, he delivered. James Sullivan was really Jason Carter, Laura's brother-in-law from a messy divorce. He'd been married to her sister, who died in a crash in 2022. Laura gave him a job at Pinnacle Realty, where he handled their dirty work, intimidating whistleblowers, faking documents. My book wasn't just a threat. It was a ticking bomb for their million-dollar scams: fake permits, inflated appraisals, ghost renovations. Jason had been Laura's enforcer, and I wasn't his first target. 3 other ex-employees had faced similar harassment after trying to expose Pinnacle. Bank records showed Jason pocketing $50,000 in consulting fees from Laura, plus $20,000 he'd swiped from our HOA fund through fake invoices. But the real kicker? Laura had been recording their talks, building a case to frame Jason as the mastermind while she played innocent. I set a trap. I staged a loud phone call with Mike, pretending he was a publisher from HarperCollins, gushing about a book deal for exposing realty secrets. I name-dropped Pinnacle, the scams, and Jason's fake badge, knowing Laura or her spies would hear. It worked. Laura sped to her HOA office, Jason trailing her, looking furious. Mike had rigged a recorder in the vent next to her office. What we caught was pure dynamite. Jason, he's got a book deal, Laura said, ice cold. Chapter 10's all about us. We need an exit plan. Jason, thinking they were partners, asked if they should ramp up the harassment. Laura's response was brutal. No, Jason. You're taking the fall. I've recorded every call, every plan, every threat you made. It's all on you. Jason's voice broke. You recorded me? I'm family, Laura. I trusted you. She didn't flinch. Business is business. You're the scapegoat now. The betrayal was raw, and 15,000 people watched it live on a stream we'd set up, thanks to Ruth spreading the word. Jason snapped. Right there in the parking lot, he called 911, confessing everything: fake permits, harassment, embezzlement. Laura Green ran it all, he said. She used me, recorded me to frame me. The stream hit 25,000 viewers as he spilled 8 years of crimes. Cops arrested them both within hours. At trial, Jason's testimony and Laura's recordings sealed their fate. She got 5 years for fraud and conspiracy. Jason got 18 months for cooperating. 6 other Pinnacle cronies went down too. The neighborhood turned. At a public HOA meeting, Laura, in handcuffs, faced 200 residents who'd once believed her lies. She had to repay $65,000 to the HOA and $40,000 to me. Neighbors apologized, and we threw a block party, complete with a piñata of Laura in a prison jumpsuit. My new Porsche 911 Turbo S rolled in, and the cheers were deafening. My book hit bestseller lists, sparking HOA reform laws. But Laura's out in 2 years. Will she come for me? I'm not the guy she tried to break. I'm ready. What would you do if your neighbor betrayed you like this? Would you fight or flee? Should Laura get a chance at redemption, or is she too far gone? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more stories that'll keep you on edge.